It is amazing to see so many people here, the love that's amongst you, and it means a lot. Good morning. My name is Bill B. With the coaches here, I'll get through this. I'm here to share my story of way of saying thank you to the entire National Institute of Health, and especially the National Cancer Institute community. Almost 1 year ago today, my unexpected struggle began with a sore throat that became a clog in my throat, feeling weak and off, and my breath was short. I was trying to climb a mountain and I couldn't breathe, but I made it, and so will you. Time slowed to a crawl after that for 2 weeks before my first doctor visit, and I heard the words that nobody ever wants to hear and you're never prepared for. You have cancer. And what's more, it's an exceptionally rare form of cancer, Burkitt lymphoma, and it's incredibly aggressive. My oncologist, Dr. Kieran Dunleavy, put me on an intense chemotherapy regime, EPOCH-R. It involved a week of hospitalized chemo and immunotherapy, followed by 2 weeks of recovery. I put that in air quotes, and I hope you excuse that because the recovery was something I never imagined. It involved blood clots in both lungs, 8 emergency room visits to deal with these type of things, a month of strep throat, gout infections, you know, the disease from the 1800s that fat kings and dukes had, and pain more excruciating than I ever could imagined. It took me almost all the fall into the winter to recover from the treatment. I'm a positive and mentally strong person, but honestly, it took me past my outer limits. I had no idea during that time that EPOCH-R was not the standard cure just about 10 years ago. And had this cancer befallen me then, I most likely would not have been here today. It would have been a death sentence. Burkitt's lymphoma is a deadly killer if untreated. The tumors can double and will double every 48 hours in size before shutting down your organs, your central nervous system, or bone marrow, just 8 to 12 weeks after it's discovered. And yet, here I am 12 months later. I rode my bike here today. Thank you. Cancer-free, back to work, and enjoying life to the fullest. The best news is that the cure is complete and long-lasting. My doctor just told me that after 4 PET scans, the cancer is 100% gone, and I've returned to a normal life expectancy. But I want to recognize that I wouldn't be here today without the fine people here today from the National Cancer Institute and the National Institutes of Health. Thank you incredibly. And on a more personal level, it was my next door neighbor, an NIH doctor, who walked across the street the day of my diagnosis and gave me comfort and counsel and hope. You people care. Beyond the science, you care about each other, your neighbors, and your friends. So, I want to tell you, and please excuse me because I trained as a lawyer, don't hold it against me, my understanding of what you did. The National Cancer Institute is the primary architect of EPOCH-R. It originated at your labs right here under the leadership of Dr. Wyndham Wilson and many other scientists. It's a cocktail, not one that you want to have, but one that you must have, that later combined with rituximab is a fundamental shift, and that's what I want to emphasize. You create fundamental shifts in how lymphomas are cured. It's unique for several reasons. Before that, it was injections, right? Which worked 40% of the time. And so basically, the key novel breakthroughs that you made, which was basically continuous infusions dialed into each person's body, enabled us to have hope. This took 25 years. In the 2010s, NCI trials first, you sponsored it, double hit lymphoma research, which is actually my condition. I didn't just have one, I had another. Before this, patients with this lymphomas had very poor outcomes. In plain language, lymphoma usually won 6 out of 10 times, and we lost. But you guys, by 2020, Dr. Wyndham Wilson, a my own oncologist, and many others, Dr. Dunleavy, made a breakthrough in their pivotal trials that showed EPOCH-R was 95% effective against Burkitt while being far less toxic. But you didn't stop there. You showed your care for the entire nation. You carried on trials to show that this could actually cure Burkitt's in the NIH positive community, which is fundamentally important. In other words, your work gave millions of people hope. Survivors like me prove that your work matters and that NIH and the National Cancer Institute are unique national treasures that should be cherished, not diminished. And I have to say what is unique to me, and I've worked in technology for 30 years now, first networking and then climate technology, digital, now AI. Honestly, I've led research teams, but I can't believe any corporate-driven initiative in science can do what you do, which is long-term, dedicated, collaborative, deep science breakthroughs. This is why the National Cancer Institute and the National Institute of Health must persevere and ultimately succeed. And that means each one of you individually. To get personal, I don't say this lightly, because I know that job losses and unstable work environments are extremely difficult at a personal level. I've been out of work for almost a year and just found a job because of the cancer. And I understand what you've experienced, and my recovery isn't complete now. Ever since August, I've experienced neuropathy in my feet and ankles, and so pain that I can't explain and numbness are my daily companions. Before my treatment, I exercised regularly. I hiked, I trekked, I biked, I rode. After the treatment, I couldn't walk. I fell, I had a concussion, stumbling due to the neuropathy. My wife and I joked that as our neighbors walked our dogs through Bethesda, she walked me. Now, after months of physical therapy, the pain is manageable, and I am preparing for my first road race this summer. Honestly, some days I don't know if I'll accomplish it because of the pain that's still there. But I try because there is no other way in life but to move forward. I offer, and good for you because you're moving forward. I offer this personal experience not to talk about me, but to recognize that in today's environment, we are all experiencing some form of pain. And we see it in our friends and our neighbors. But you, as heroes here at the National Institute of Health and the National Cancer Institute, have chosen to fight on.
Right.
So we can achieve the vision of service above self and create breakthroughs that save lives. This matters incredibly, and you must persevere. It means so much to so many people you'll never meet, but you'll change their lives. As a survivor, I am eternally grateful for what you have done and will continue to do, and for the next generation of scientists and doctors and nurses who will continue it. Thank you all. May you have the strength and the support you deserve. Find it from each other and from the broader community. I know I will be there, as will many survivors, and God bless you all.